Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm going to give you this word that the Lord gave to me, and I'm going to read a couple scriptures to you. The first one is going to be coming from Matthew chapter 6 and verse 1. I'm reading from the KJV, King James Version, but please feel free to read from your own version. But I'm a King James girl. It doesn't mince or dice or dilute. I'm not knocking the other versions. I do read the New King James. At times I also have read the Amplified. But I found the more basic the language gets, there's some words that's lost. So I'm not knocking any Bibles, but I'm saying King James is just my go-to, and then I may have a few others that I use for some comparisons, especially with the Amplified, because the Amplified, it juices up the word. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just KJV, bottom line. Okay, so Matthew chapter 6, starting at 1. This is Jesus saying, "Take heed that you do not your alms," which means when you're giving to the poor. Alms is when you're making your donations and giving to the poor and things of that nature, giving. "Take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise, you have no reward of your Father, which is in heaven." Okay? It didn't say some. You have no reward. "Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet," getting up front of the church with a mic, getting online, recording yourself giving to the poor. I understand some people do that, and sometimes you want to see some good stuff, right? But it shouldn't always be that you're doing that, okay? Because one of the things you have to remember, underneath all that dirt and under all of that is a person who's probably already feeling down about being in that state. So for him or her to be recorded, there may be some exceptions in which it's just good to see some good things. But it shouldn't just be your first thing to do, and especially those of you that you like to do it because you want to be seen. "So therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. When thou doest alms, let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, that thine alms which you do in secret, that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly." So it's not that God's not going to bless you. He doesn't want to. My brothers and sisters, he just wants you to, certain things just everybody don't need to know. "So that thine alms may be in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. And when thou prayest, thou shalt not be as the hypocrites are, for they love to pray, standing in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets, that they may be seen of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. But when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. But when you pray, use not vain repetitions." Guys, how many times have you stood in a service or sat in a service and the prayer was so long and drawn out that you were almost pushed to the place of violence? You wanted to punch somebody. You wanted you just was going crazy because it was just going on and on and on and repeating and loud, and you're getting a headache, and you'd rather watch paint dry. I'm not knocking all prayers, but guys, we've been there. I don't call no names. Okay. So here we go. Jesus says, what did I do with it? Okay. In 7, but when you pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. Be ye not therefore like them, for your Father knows what things you have need of before you ask him. And after this manner, therefore, pray. So that's where you see the Our Father who art in heaven. Okay? Guys, so I just read you Matthew chapter 6, 1 through 8. Now I'm going to take you to Matthew chapter 4. And I'm going to take you down to verse number 6. This was when Jesus was being tempted in the wilderness of the devil. No, let me go down to 8. And again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of this world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give you, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan. For it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Again, I'm going to read you chapter 4 of Matthew, starting at verse 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain. He took him up high. He got up high, got in high places, right? And showeth him all the kingdoms of this world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. And then Jesus saith unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and not only worship him, but in him only shalt thou serve. What you worship is what you will serve. What you serve is what you will worship. I'm going to take you back to Matthew chapter 6 and 1. Take heed that you do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise you have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Guys, there's a lot of people that's doing things right now to be seen by men. They're doing a lot of things. They're doing a lot of things for their own gain and recognition, own satisfaction, their own personal gain and satisfaction. And what the Lord wants me to give to those individuals, those of you, you're just trying to come up. You are trying to be seen. You want to be seen in high places. Many of you, you've sold out. Okay? You have bowed down to the king, to the prince of this world. The prince of this world that operated through the person, the business, the individuals that you now have fallen on your knees to. Whether you've done it, you may not have done it physically, but you've done it mentally. You have shirked and you have abandoned the things of God to go in this way. And some of you are saying that you're walking in God, but it has nothing to do with God, because a lot of things that you're doing is for show and it's for elevation. So you have been given the glories of this world, just like Satan tried to give to Jesus. You've been given the glory of this world. And just like Matthew 6 and 1 says, you have no reward from the Father in heaven. Your reward is now. Your reward is here. Many of you have been disobedient to the Lord. Many of you are doing another thing. You are preaching another gospel. You have watered it down. You've diluted it. You've made it neutral. You've made it tasteless. You see, you've put in your own little concoction. You're putting your own little mix. And some of you do nothing. But in nothing, you have spoken volumes. And there's some of you, you may not be preaching or teaching, but you are supposedly a child of God. And you have sold out, honey. You have taken, you bow down to fornication. You bow down to adultery. You bow down to living together before marriage. You have bowed down to the ways of this world. You have bowed down and conformed to the principle of this world. And so you're being awarded the friendship, the acceptance. You're being awarded the position. You're being awarded that man right now, that woman right now, all these things. But God is showing me and telling me to tell you guys that this is your reward. This world is your reward. There is nothing that you will receive from the Father. Do not mix up the compromises that you made right now to get the things that you're getting and try to bring this filthy, idol, juiced and immersed, this things that's been immersed in your lust and your lies and your deception, and try to bring it and try to sanctify it before the Lord, because it was not what God wanted for you. Remember, this word may not apply to everybody. But what God is saying, those of you who choose to walk in the ways of this world, those of you that you decide that you're going to follow the ways of the world, whatever it is that you're enjoying now, God says go ahead and enjoy, because this is your only reward. This is all that you will get, all that you have given up God for, all that you've walked out on your family for, all that you have broken up your household for, all that you have abandoned your responsibility as a parent to your children for, all that you have sacrificed your marriage for, all that you have sanctified, and you have sacrificed your walk, your salvation. Those of you that's crucified Christ again, those of you that are being silent while God is being mocked and scourged and spit on all over again, your reward will be this world. Your reward is now and nothing else from the Father. And when you leave this world, you see, all the stuff that you've accomplished, where moth and rust does destroy, you're going to leave it behind. And then you go into eternity, where you will regret the decisions that you made in this life. Turn around while you can. Turn around while you can. Those of you that sold out, whether you are Christian or unsaved, whatever it is that you're doing right now, this world, all that you're doing right now, whether you're rich or poor, whatever it is that's causing you to defy God, that's your reward. Whatever man keeps you from God, this is your reward. Now is your reward. This time is your reward. Your future is this world. Those of you that's abandoned God for this woman, those of you that's abandoned God to be accepted, what you're doing, you shooting up, you getting drunk, you waking up in your vomit, that's your reward. This world is your reward. That next bottle of liquor, that's your reward, because that's what you're working for. But when you leave it, it rusts, it depletes, and then there's eternity, which will be without the Father. Your reward is right now. But you can change that by turning around, asking the Lord to forgive you, completely turn around, and by the power of the Holy Spirit, you can be saved, you can be changed, you can be transformed. You just have to make the choice. You can keep these worldly rewards now, or you can abandon them and seek the Lord. Let him lead you in this life, give you what is necessary, and ultimately, my brothers and sisters, you will have eternal life with the Father, which is going to be worth more than anything that you and I could have imagined and felt was worth abandoning God for in the first place. All right, guys, be blessed.